What's up, everybody? Today we're going to do some addition and subtraction with radicals. So my instructions just say to add or subtract. First thing I have written out here is just an example. So I want to show you when and when you can't add or subtract. So the rule is, in order to add or subtract, the number inside the radical needs to be the same. So the 3 and the 4 there, or on this bottom example, the 3 and the 3. Down here, I have the green light to add those two things because they match. Up top, I don't. So unless the radical is the same, you can't add or subtract. All I'm going to do then is whatever number's on the outside is going to be the piece that adds, whatever number's inside the radical is going to stay the same. So if I have 2 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3, that's 5 square root of 3, because I take the 2 and I add the 3. Okay, I want to show you an example here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work through and I'm going to find the things that are alike. Like terms, again, are going to have like radicals. So I notice on number 1, I have a square root of 5. I have another square root of 5. And then I also have a square root of 3. The two pieces that I underlined in blue are going to get to go together because they're both square root of 5. The one I underlined in pink will not. So I'm going to get to do 2 minus 4 is negative 2 square root of 5. And then because he doesn't have any other friends, all I'm going to do is just write him on the end. Plus 3 roots of 3. So that's negative 2 root 5 plus 3 square root of 3. Now, something you will typically be asked to do is if I take a look at example number 2, the first thing I notice is that the square root of 5 and the square root of 20 do not match. So I might be thinking right away, hey, I can't add or subtract these things. However, the square root of 20 is not written in its simplest form. So what I'm going to need to do is, just like when we simplified radicals before, I'm going to need to use these perfect squares in order to write him in his simplest form. So I'm going to look for a value on the right-hand side here that goes into 20. I think the number that I'm going to choose is 4. So 20 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. The square root of 4 is 2 square root of 5. And then just like when we simplified, sometimes the thing out front is going to need to multiply. So on the right-hand side, I have negative 6 times 2 square root of 5. What I might want to do is just rewrite this question with the simplified version on the bottom. So I'm going to have 10 root 5 minus 6 times 2, 12 root 5. Now I'm at a point where these two things match. So root 5 and root 5, I can take 10 minus 2, and I'm going to get negative 2 square root 5.